and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We are back here today for some Barça news. I did take a day off yesterday, I'm sorry about that, but the holiday's over. Back to work today for sure, and we have lots to discuss on the channel. We're going to be talking more about this Yamal and Cubarsi situation on the international front. We're going to be talking too about Ansu Fati's future. That is a hot topic right now, and also these Robert Lewandowski Atletico Madrid rumours. Is there anything at all to that? A great story as well we have today on Lewandowski, plus as well Joao, Felix and his future, and we are going to be discussing actually exactly what the clubs see in him, what their plans are looking ahead to next season. It is all on the way for you today. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's do this, because today's video is an extra special one for me, because I would like to welcome Goal of Fame to the channel, a new sponsor here today, guys. And as you know, I would never accept a sponsor here that I didn't think would really appeal to you guys, and I think you're going to absolutely love these Goal of Fame products, because they help us to celebrate the most incredible, most special Barça memories through their unique selection of art prints. Because just look how cool these are right here. This one is one of my absolute favourites, Iniesta's goal against Chelsea. I love this one. I've actually got this on my office wall above where I record every single day. And just look there, every moment of that goal, every action, every pass, the finish, every time I look at it on my wall, I'm reminded of that goal. I can see it clearly in my mind, and I love it there. And they've got so many Barça moments there over on their website, all of these fantastic minimalist prints. And if you do want to go over there and check out exactly what they do, the link is in the description down below. They ship worldwide, and if you use the code TalkFCB at checkout, you can save 10% on your order. And for every single person who uses that TalkFCB code, you're not only getting a great discount, but you will also really help the channel with every single purchase. So please, guys, go and have a look at Goal of Fame. It's such a unique product, and I know you're going to love it. So let's indeed kick off with the Barça news then today, guys. And quite incredibly, there are 4 different former Barcelona players who are all sharing the same birthday today. Let's give a shout out to some of those here. Jordi Alba turns 35 today. I've got to say, he's had an excellent start to life in Miami. They're playing really well at Inter Miami. Really happy for him. Antoine Griezmann, also his birthday today. He turns 33 years old, and as we know, he is still playing at an incredibly high level at Atletico Madrid. We also discuss him a little bit in today's video. We've also got Ronald Koeman today. He turns 61 years old, scorer of that winning goal for our first European Cup. He will lead the Netherlands at Euro 2024 this summer. And last but certainly not least, Ronaldinho's birthday is today. The Barca legend and magician turns 44 today. I hope he's enjoying himself. I'm sure that he is. He knows how to have a good time. And even just talking about Ronaldinho, genuinely, guys, it brings a huge smile to my face. And actually, Ronaldinho's son, just yesterday, João Mendes, he actually trained with the first team. Really nice moment for him there to be involved in that training session. And speaking of training, I do want to tell you guys about Toni Fernandez, because right here, he also appeared yesterday alongside the first team in training, and this young man is just 15 years old. And I want to keep a close eye on him, because remember the name for sure, especially given all of the talent that we are seeing right now come through La Masia, and Toni Fernandez is really, really highly rated. He plays his best football just in behind the striker as a sort of support forward there. He can also play a little bit deeper as well if needed, and he does have a real eye for goal. He got a great shot on him, and the club are really excited about him. Awesome to see him there alongside Xavi yesterday, and I'm sure that also meant the world to him there. Being able to be in training alongside one of his idols, that is special. But I would also, guys, like to just follow up as well on this João Cancelo situation after he missed the game against Atletico Madrid, because it has now been confirmed that he missed the game off the back of medical advice from the club, because basically a family member there that was close to Cancelo was unfortunately diagnosed with a heart problem, and Barca's medical staff wanted to ensure that that problem there was not hereditary. So they've done a number of tests there on Cancelo. They did not want to take any risks at all, but the good news is all of those tests came back absolutely fine. He is free to return return to football again, and that is great news for Barça and indeed for Cancelo. Good to see there that he has the all clear. And what about these new images, guys? Because Barça this week have released more photos of what the new Camp Nou will look like once it's been completed. And I do have to say, guys, that the atmosphere the fans generated in the game against Napoli, that has only made me more and more excited to be truly back at our home. Because when you think about that atmosphere there in the Champions League, that was 50,000 fans at Montjuic. Can you imagine more than double that inside the new stadium? Around 105,000 fans that it'll hold when it's all done on a big Champions League night and under a roof, because that is something, remember, we've never experienced at Barca, and something actually the world may not have experienced with that many people under one roof, all of those fans, all of that noise put back into the stadium under that roof. It's going to be incredible. That stadium is going to be absolutely bouncing on the big Champions League nights, and especially looking at these new photos, you've got to be excited there about what it could mean for this club, about what it's going to be like to be back in our stadium. And what you will also notice as well from these new images is not only the stadium itself, not only how incredible that's going to look, but also, don't forget, it's all of the surrounding area too. It's going to be a complete renovation of everything you see there in and around the stadium. Palau Blaugrana as well is going to be completely renovated, so it's all going to look absolutely terrific, state-of-the-art stuff. I mean, even looking here at the press conference room, that there looks like a mini theatre on its own. It's going to be amazing. And of course it won't be long until we're back there. However, it is possible that not everyone, not every player, will be able to experience the new stadium. And for instance, will Ansu Fati get to experience it there as a player? Because according to Sport this week, the decision has already been made within the club that Ansu will not return to Barca to be part of the squad this summer, and that instead, the club again will look for his exit. So the feeling right now already is that Ansu is more outside the club than in. And I don't really think, guys, here, looking at the way this Ansu Fati situation has developed this season, I don't honestly believe this loan has gone the way anybody wanted. I think Barca genuinely here were hoping to loan Ansu to Brighton, that he would then play really well, that he would have some real explosive performances, maybe a few games where he scored lots of goals, that Brighton were going to be doing well, everybody was really confident, but it just hasn't really worked out that way. You know, Ansu again has had injury problems, he hasn't always been in the Brighton team, Brighton's form itself has also been quite sketchy at times this season, and I just wouldn't say Ansu has done enough really to generate the big offers Barca would have been hoping for. They were hoping to put him in the spotlight in the Premier League and to get big offers off the back of this loan. That has not happened. And I think that might be a big reason as to why, and that might explain why we're hearing now that if Ansu was to leave again in the summer, could it even be now another loan deal? We're not talking about selling him, but Barca may attempt again to send him out on loan, to send him to another club, to a different environment, to try and find the best level, the best version of himself. Is that the right way to go? Because I think from Ansu's point of view, looking ahead to the summer, I think he's going to be quite keen to see what's going to happen with the coaching situation. Because obviously under Xavi, things didn't really click, I don't think, between the two of them. I don't really think there that Xavi had too much faith in Ansu, that he saw him really as part of his plans, and hence why he was even sent out on loan this season. So I think for Ansu, he is going to be hoping for just one chance there, in pre-season maybe, under the new Barcelona coach, where everybody should start from scratch, and he's going to want to try and show what he can do as quickly as he possibly can, have a fresh start, have something new here to try and build again at this club. And I'm just wondering what you make of Ansu right now in this whole situation, because he is still only 21 years old. You see the talent there in flashes, you see moments there where you want to be excited about Ansu, but do you still believe that he can show it on a consistent basis? Do you still believe that Ansu can return to anything like the player that we saw explode onto the scene before all of those horrible injury problems? Is it still in there? Do you still believe in Ansu Fati? Let me know in the comments down below. And I think on the very topic of Ansu, on the topic there of injuries and maybe players who didn't go on to realise that huge talent they had because of injuries, we have to talk about Yamal. We have to talk about Pau Cubarsi because of this situation surrounding them. More about this Euros Olympics problem that's rapidly approaching this summer. Because from what we've heard now in the media, apparently the Spanish Football Federation they've confirmed basically they don't care about the club's preferences. They do not care there if clubs do not want players to play at the Euros and at the Olympics in the same summer. They will not take that into any consideration, and at the end of the Euros apparently they're simply going to go to the players they want to play the Olympics, and if the players agree, it will happen. And apparently there's nothing the clubs can do about it because of some new law that's been conveniently changed in Spain right now. However, what is interesting is that I hear in the media that Real Madrid, by the way, they won't have it. They will not allow any player apparently to play both the Olympics and the Euros this summer. They do not want a Pedri case at their club, and they're putting their foot down. They are very, very adamant about that. And let me just say, again, Barca have to follow suit. Barca must make it absolutely clear to every single player that may be considering that route what the risks are. And particularly when you're talking here about two players who are 16, 17 years old. They have only just played their first ever season at the top level. It would be extreme to ask them then to go and play off the back of that 2 tournaments this summer, back to back, just before the next season they're thrown into. It would be absolutely ridiculous. And some people will come here and say, well, obviously, you've got to choose your country over your club. You've got to disregard what Barca say, go and play the international tournaments. And of course, there's no denying that those international tournaments, they have their prestige. Of course, you want to be proud to represent your country. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, but let's not forget here, when it comes to player welfare, it is the clubs that pay the wages. It is Barca here in this situation that holds all of the risk attached to it, and it is club football that is going to make these players rich at the end of the day. It is club football that is actually going to provide for these players' families for many, many years to come. That still remains their priority, even despite international football being something with a lot of pride. And the irony for me, actually, is that the Spanish media, by the way, most of the season, they will happily bash Barcelona players. They will happily criticise them there. They will look to try and really hurt them. And the funny thing now is that all of the Spanish media, oh, they want Yamal, they want Cubarsi to turn their back on Barca and go and play for the country now. Oh, now you want them. Now you want to give them some praise. Now you want to give them some credit. All season long, you've been happy to criticise Barca players and hurt them. And I have full faith here. I want to believe that Barca will be strong, that they will learn from the Pedri episode, and I have full faith too in Yamal and Cubarsi to listen to the club, to understand what's best for their future, and this summer to make the right decisions. But on a much happier note, guys, on a much more light-hearted note right now, let me just calm down for 1 second. There was actually a great story here that emerged just this morning about Cubarsi and Robert Lewandowski, a conversation apparently that took place there in the dressing room after Cubarsi made his debut against Real Betis, because apparently it went a bit like this. Lewandowski basically asked Pau, how old are you? You know, that was a great display. How old are you? He said, I'm 16 years old. And he said, I will very soon turn 17 years old. And apparently Lewandowski turned round. He said, wait, don't mess with me now, right? Are you serious? He said, no, honestly, I swear, Robert, I'm about to turn 17. And Lewandowski said, no way. He said, it is impossible to believe that. He said, it is impossible to play a performance like that in a game like this. I've never seen anything like this before. And don't forget, this is Robert Lewandowski, one of the most experienced players out there. He has seen everything, every talent really, all the time that he's been at the top of the game, and yet he could not believe what he was seeing from young Pau Cubarsi, the calmness, the composure in his play, and that speaks volumes about just how good this young man is. Absolutely incredible. But I do want to talk more about Robert Lewandowski, because we have heard a kind of interesting rumour over the past few days linking him with Atletico Madrid, and the report basically came out and said this summer you've got to pay very close attention between Barca, Atleti and Robert Lewandowski. The report went on to say that Barca this summer are really eager to get rid of Lewandowski, to remove his wages, and in typical Atleti style, they're waiting to pounce on this one, because let's face it, guys, it wouldn't be the first time that Barca had just gifted Atleti a world-class forward. We gave them David Villa for virtually nothing. We gave them Luis Suarez for absolutely nothing. We've given them Memphis, and I mean, thinking about it as well, we basically gave them Griezmann. Given what we paid and given what Atleti actually gave us back, we basically handed them him as well. So Atleti have certainly got a track record. I can understand they may be looking at Lewandowski, but I'm still not really sure about this rumour right now, guys, because Lewandowski is, yes, one of the highest earners in the squad. He is one of the big earners on our wage bill, but this is one of those instances now whereby we knew about our financial situation when we signed him. We were the ones now who actually gave him that contract, so we were well aware of all of that when he came in. And you have to say as well right now, Lewandowski, he may be getting on in age. He recently said, I still feel so good physically, better than I did 10 years ago. And right now, he is looking a lot better. You know, this year he has been a transformed player from what we'd seen before that. He's scoring more goals, his build-up play is a lot better, his touch is more accurate right now, and he's certainly more involved in the overall attacking picture for Barca, and that is what we've been crying out for. That is what we have all desperately wanted. And you do, I guess, just wonder, when you're talking about Atleti here, when you're talking about forwards at Barca, you do wonder in the back of your mind here, would this have anything to do with Joao Felix there, whereby you combine two players in some way? I don't know what kind of deal, what kind of structure could happen, but what we do know for sure right now is that Barca, they are desperate to sign Joao Felix. They are desperate to keep him here at the club, because the media yesterday even went as far to say, guys, that Barca's desire to keep Joao Felix matches their desire to keep João Cancelo. And some of the media have said that it even goes beyond that. Apparently there's some that believe Barca would rather keep Felix more than Cancelo, which I gotta say, I find incredibly strange if that was to be the case, because for me this season, Cancelo, he has been comfortably, and I mean by far and away, the better performer in this Barcelona team, not only in terms of his peak performances, but it's the level of consistency that he has been able to show throughout the season, and on two different sides of the field as well. He's been very impressive for us. And on Felix at the club, they do admit he has been a bit inconsistent. They do admit there that he hasn't always been at his best level, that he hasn't always shown what he can do in all the games, but apparently the club are really impressed with the big game performances. They're happy that he has shown quality, that he has provided goals, assists there when it really has mattered in the big moments. And I think part of me right now, guys, is wondering two things about Barca's obsession really with Felix, about their real desire to keep him here no matter what. Number one, I'm wondering how much all of this is linked to Jorge Mendes, because the desire there to sign Felix, is it purely based on football, or are there more factors at play here? Is this deal kind of important in some way in that Mendes-Barca relationship? I do believe that is a real possibility, and I think it's been that way since we brought him in the summer. But I think number two as well, guys, and we shouldn't understate this, on the footballing side, are Barcelona right now thinking that maybe next season Felix could thrive? Maybe they're thinking that, okay, under Xavi, I don't really think Xavi ever wanted Felix at the club. I don't believe there that Xavi ever felt as though there was a place in his team for Joao. Now, he's tried to accommodate him, he's tried to play him, he's tried to make him a part of the team, and I think he's done okay in that. But I just wonder whether Barca are thinking next season, under the next coach, do they see things transforming? Do they see Felix maybe going to another level? Is there more in his locker? Is there more that he can do? Those are going to be the questions, because right here, on the performances we've seen this season, you know, I'd be happy to keep him, I'd be happy to take him there on another loan, but saying there that we'd rather keep him maybe over João Cancelo, that seems really extreme, and that would imply to me there's more going on here. There's more that they expect from him, and maybe more happening behind the scenes. So let me know, guys, on your thoughts there on João Felix, and how determined you'd be to keep him at the club, and what your expectations would be ahead of next season. And so indeed, guys, that does conclude today's Barcelona news roundup, and I really do hope that you have enjoyed it here on the channel. Please do indeed check out Goal of Fame. Please do use the discount code and light up your home with a few special Barcelona memories. And I want to thank indeed as well today the super thanks that have been coming in. Absolutely incredible support here on the channel. It's a great feeling right now. I want to be with you every day. I really hated taking a day off yesterday. I just felt as though I needed just a little bit of rest, but I want to be here with you all the time because you make it so special, and I really do appreciate that. I will see you all so soon, but until next time, as always, Visca, El Barça.